I've done some initial analysis of this new UFO footage and found some interesting things. 1. The video does not show the object moving rapidly left and right or making any sudden moves. The apparent rapid motions are all camera motion. 2. It's not one continuous shot. There's actually a 6-minute cut in the middle. 3. There's no clear splashdown. It just shrinks away at or behind the horizon, meaning it's miles away. 4. It's maybe a large infrared glare around a smaller heat source. Let's break all that down. Number 1. The most significant thing is that there's no change in the left-right motion, no sudden moves. I know it looks like it's flying left and then right, but the key thing to look at is the motion relative to the ocean when the video has been stabilized. Try to ignore the crosshairs moving around. Look at the region of the ocean surface in the orange box. It moves smoothly from right to left relative to the object, which means the object has an apparent motion to the right which does not change. If you scrub through the entire video stabilized, you see this constant movement to the right. The ocean surface seems to move left, so the object seems to move right. Number 2. There are 6 minutes and 21 seconds missing from the video. I don't know if it was cut out or if it's actually just 2 videos spliced together, but you see that 27 seconds into the video, the position of the object jumps much closer to the horizon, and the on-screen time goes from 53 minutes and 19 seconds to 59 minutes and 40 seconds. If you don't notice this cut, you might think the object was dropping a lot quicker. I suspect the missing 6 minutes are really boring, just showing it continuing to descend really slowly. Number 3. When the object vanishes, you hear people in the video say, "It splashed," meaning it landed or crashed in the ocean. But remember, this is at 11 at night, very dark, and the object seems to be miles away based on the extreme digital zoom, so they are probably just looking at this infrared video, the same thing that we see. The object disappears from view right at the horizon. It does not seem to be gradually obscured from the bottom up, but rather it shrinks and vanishes, and then grows back into view for a fraction of a second, and then rapidly fades out again. Some of that is hard to see due to video compression, but the shrinking seems fairly clear. Which brings us to number 4. This shrinking effect would happen if what we were looking at was an infrared glare. Black is hot here, and a very hot object, like a flare, creates a glare around it which is a lot bigger than the actual flare. If a solid object goes behind the horizon, then you'd see it cut in half, like this. But if it's a glare, then you would just see the glare shrink and grow as the smaller heat source is obscured and pops back into view and then it's obscured again, possibly by waves right on the horizon. One thing that seems very clear from all this is that there is zero indication that it's a trans-medium craft that is transitioning to flying underwater. We just lose sight of it at the horizon. So what are we looking at? I initially thought a balloon, simply because it seemed round and it was descending so slowly. My number 2 hypothesis was a glare from a flare descending on a parachute, and I moved more towards that after looking at the shrinking that looks like obscuring by the horizon. But this arrow here seems to indicate where north is, and the wind would have been coming roughly from the north, and the apparent motion of the object seems to be towards the north, i.e. against the wind, so that seems to point more towards a powered craft. But then if the object is far beyond the horizon, then maybe this apparent motion is a bit of an illusion, a combination of the motion of the ship, the waves, and the object, with some of the apparent motion perhaps coming from parallax. It's hard to tell, and it's unfortunate that yet again the best UFO videos that we get are these really poor quality, low resolution videos. So I don't know, maybe a balloon or a parachute flare, or maybe a distant helicopter, maybe a drone, maybe a Chinese drone, maybe a plane really far away, maybe an alien spaceship doing some really boring flying. More information would be very useful. But what we have is not really super interesting. Something descends slowly towards the horizon, as slow as a setting star, and then is hidden by the horizon. That's all we've got.